Now, in this example, we have a scalene triangle. This is a complexified thing to do, but don't worry, with our math powers, nothing is impossible, and with God as well. So let's do this, okay? So now we have a triangle that looks like this, right? A triangle such that we have this side that measures 7.5 centimeters, as you can see here. And then 8.2 centimeters, as you can see here. Kaya lang, we are looking for the remnant measure. But we can't. It's kind of hard. But we are given a clue such that the angle measures 38 degrees. So where's my handy little protractor? Yes, it says that this angle here measures 38 degrees. Let me fix it. Let me fix that for you. Yan, dapat nakapatong siya at yan, 38 degrees siya. Somewhat almost to 38. Now, our goal is to solve for the other measure of the triangle. But remember, just what I said, this is not literally a scalene triangle at all. It is converted into a prism. You thought kasi dahil because of the height that you see here, which represents the clue. Yes, that's true. Kaya lang, that's not the point. Because remember, this is really the height of the triangle. And of course, you are correct. It really is a triangular prism with a height whose height measures 6.2 centimeters. Pero before we go to that, let's work out the triangle first, okay? Dapat makukuha namin yung mga informasyon dyan. Okay. So now we need to play the game of SOH CAH TOA if we need to get the other measures. So remember, given our hypotenuse of 7.5 and then the angle here is 38 degrees, so ganito siya yung mangyayari. Again, going back to our triangle, as you can see here, this is our hypotenuse of 7.5. This is our, anong tawag dito? Our angle that we're working on. And we know that this angle here is supposed to be 52 degrees. And this is 90. Tama? Now, this is the plan. Remember that this is 90 degrees and this is 52 degrees. Okay? So this one, we need to get the measure of this. But how do we do that? Ganito kasi yung mangyayari. Remember this? SOH CAH TOA. We are given the hypotenuse and then the angle is found. So remember, we have 38 degrees of what? Let's say, for example, hanapin tayo yung opposite. So opposite over hypotenuse. Which function contains the opposite over hypotenuse? Ito yun. Yung SOH. So sine. So sine ang dapat gagamitin namin. Sine of 38 is equivalent to the opposite over the hypotenuse of 7.5 centimeters. Then we need to multiply both by 7.5. So therefore it goes like this. 7.5 times the sine of 38 gives you the opposite. Now once we do this in our calculator, ganito siya yung paraan. So yeah, I've done it for you. 7.5 times sine of 38. And our answer is supposed to be 4.61. 4.61. So that's the measure of our height. Check namin kung tama. So di ba remember ito yung height ng triangle? So what's the answer? 4.61. Tama ba yung kinuha namin? Labo eh. Pero what you call this, yes, that's still correct. We should get an answer of 4.61. So tama, we're still correct even though hindi siya makikita, okay? Dahil sa diamond nandito, tapos yun. Okay? Tama, it's 4.6. So therefore, the measure of this angle here, side here is 4.6. 4.6 na lang. Because we can only do two decimal places, okay? Para hindi ka mahirapan. Pero if you want to get the measure, dapat accurate ang dapat gagamitin namin. Okay, keep that information, yung 4.61. Because remember just what I said, ito yung measure ng height. 4.61 something. Then we need to get the adjacent. To get the adjacent, wait pala, I forgot to mention to you this. Di ba remember yung opposite, ito yun. I meant yung adjacent, ito yun. Remember that 8.2 centimeters is the length of the entire triangle itself. You thought kasi ang 8.2 ay dito hanggang dito. Mali yun. Pero we need to get this one only. Kaya that's why I draw the triangle here para mas malinaw ang explanation ko. Okay? Now we're gonna look for the adjacent. There are two solutions. Either we do, what's the function? Hypotenuse over adjacent, or we can do CAH. The cosine of 38 is equivalent to adjacent over hypotenuse. So tama, multiply by 7.5 and then ganito yun. Cosine of 38 times 7.5. You should get 5.91. So keep that answer, 5.91. Ayan, 5.91. Or 5.91 na lang. Kasi nga may dobleng 0 eh. So yan, 5.91. Tapos, another solution is this. Pwede ka mag-tangent. Remember tangent, opposite over adjacent. The opposite of 4.61. Remember the opposite is this one. So tan of 38 is equivalent to 4.61 over adjacent. So multiply both sides by the adjacent and then it's 4.61 divided by the tangent of 48. So 4.61 divided by tangent of 48, which gives you 38 pala, not 48, sorry. Yan, tama. Malapit. Malapit na sa 5.91. It's 5.9. So yan. That's the measure. Okay? Nakita mo siya, malapit siya sa 4, 5, 6. So, 5.9. So, yan, ito yun, 5.9. Pero since we have 8.2, therefore, we need to subtract. So, therefore, 5.9, 8.2 minus 5.9, ganito siya, 8.2, 5.9, 12 minus 9 is 3, 7, 2.3. So, therefore, the remnant angle must measure 2.3 centimeters. And that's how you play the game of SOH CAH TOA. Gets? So now we already have 2.3 here. And then, yun nga, now we can already work on the other triangle. But bad news. Kasi nga diba remember, this is 90, diba? Ito yung 90 degrees. Pero we need to get the measure of the other angle. Kasi nga, I do not know what's the measure of the angle. But the good news is, applying our SOH CAH TOA formula can help us. Remember, labeling the parts of the triangle, ganito siya. Remember, we have 2.3 and this is 4.6. This is our hypotenuse. We do not know what that is. Tapos, this is our adjacent and then our hypotenuse. So, maybe let's work out this one. This one muna. So, therefore, kung ganito, let me write it down here. So, if this is the angle that we're looking for, actually, I forgot to mention pala that SOH CAH TOA does not only work when you're only doing, ano yun, SOH CAH TOA does not only work when you are solving for the measure of a given line. It can also ask for a given angle. Solve for the measure of a given angle based on the specifications. Like for instance, di ba remember you have 4.6 and then this is 2.3. So 2.3 cm ito. So this is the left side of the triangle. Now our goal is to solve for this angle. So this one, this is your right angle. This is your opposite. This is your adjacent, this is your hypotenuse. Tinatawag ito ng adjacent dahil this is the angle that we're working on. So now, if we're asked to solve for the adjacent, and then we got the opposite and the adjacent, what do we need to work on? Ang TOA. So now we need to do this. Tan of what angle is equivalent to 4 opposite over adjacent. Tama? But, this is how we're gonna solve for theta. Ganito yung gagawin namin. Di ba remember inverse function? So, nakikita mo ba yung di ba remember last time, ang ginawa namin, sine, cosine, and tangent. Pero, meron function naman yung may -1. Some people might be asking me, anong ibig sabihin yun? Ang ibig sabihin, yung may negative 1 sub or exponent, it means the inverse. So, pindutin mo yung inverse. Ibig sabihin,
What time did your pips go?
kanina pa, and I'm filming a video. So di ba remember just what I said? Di ba remember ang sine, cosine, and tangent? Nala mo last time when we're asked to solve for the given angle, given measure, we're always using these three functions. Ang sine, cosine, at tangent. Ngayon naman, if we're looking for the angle, based on the two measures that are given, edi yung inverse naman tayo ang gagamitin namin. So, ipindot namin yung tan, tapos may negative 1. And then type in the formula. Like, remember, tangent is opposite over adjacent. So, our opposite is 4.61. So, 4.61 divided by 2.3. What did we get? 63.48. Or we can just round it off to 63.5. So, yan, that's the return of the angle. So, to go back to our drawing, the angle here must measure 63.5. Malapit na. Malapit na eh. Kasi nga the reason why, because we rounded off. Pero never mind, let's just assume it were that way. So tama, this is 63.5. And then the remnant angle, ganito siya. Remember, we want to solve for the top angle, ganito yung gagawin namin. We can do it this way. 38 plus 63.5, then subtract that from 180. So, 63.5, 11, 101, then 180 minus 101.5, 7, 8, 5. So, the remnant angle must measure 78.5. Tama? Ito yun. Yan. Tama, 78.5. It's in between the two lines. And then, di ba remember just what I said? This angle that you see here, yung ito, this is, di ba, 38. So, 90, this is 52. Now, we need to subtract if we want to get the remnant one, which is 26.5. Because 6 plus 2 is 8, 2 plus 6 is 7, and then 0.5, yun ang sagot. Or, another way, you can do it this way. You can do it this way. Pwede ganito. Diba, 90 plus 63.5, this becomes 153.5. 180 minus 153.5, cross out, 5, this becomes 9, 6, tama, 26.5. So that's the measure of the remnant angle. Now, we were to play the game of sine, ganito siya. Now, our goal is to solve for the hypotenuse. For the hypotenuse, we do not know. But we can only try one solution. So, which one can we use? Remember, which formula implies the hypotenuse? Let's try this one. Kung ito yung gagamitin namin, yung 63.5, edi cosine ang gagamitin namin. So, cosine. So, the cosine of, what's the measure? 63.5 is equivalent to, what's the measure of the angle? Yes. 2.3 over adjacent. So, 2.3 over hypotenuse pala. So, divide both sides by hypotenuse. And then, tama, it's 2.3 divided by 63.5. 2.3 divided by the cosine of 63.5. So, ganito siya. 2.3 divided by cosine of 63.5. What did we get? Teka. That wasn't supposed to be the answer that we're supposed to be looking for. Kasi nga, to be honest, that's not the answer eh. Sige, wait until the next video. Let's study it first.